Hi. These are, yet again, I do have a notepad with bullet points to keep track of what I've written. These are the accounts of the night of January 12th, 2024. As I, Ariana Allison Johnson, recount them, the Lord spoke to me today, and He said specifically, say it all. I want to first warn you that everything I'm about to say is going to include a large amount of violence and sensitive topics of varying specific natures. I want to give you background before I get into this. This night, what you need to know is I was staying at my mother's house, or her apartment more so. And I had been staying there about 3 months leading up to January 12th. During this time, my mom had someone moved in, a boyfriend of hers, who was not supposed to be moved in. He wasn't on the lease. She had been paying off his trailer and his phone bill, and my little brother lived with her, so he wasn't getting the things he needed because she was spending money on a large amount of play toys, on drugs, including some harder illegal ones, on keeping this man sustained. I was pregnant during this time, and I had a full-time job as a supervisor. I think that's the main background. Oh, one more thing for the background information. I did end up getting a camera and placing it in my room, my bedroom, in which I slept in alone. And I had caught my mom and my little brother going through my drawers. I was 18. So they were rummaging through, like, my entire room, but especially what I noticed and what was particularly disturbing, two things. One, they would go through my underwear drawers, both of them, and this is a habit they have had for years. And I believe it's one my little brother picked up from my mom. I don't know why this isn't disturbing to them. And the other is that they were stealing from me constantly. So, I set up a camera in my room, and my mom came in at one point, and then she found it after I had already had a whole bunch of footage of them stealing from me, and going through my boyfriend of the time, but ex now, his belongings that were left in my room. My mom went through one of his backpacks. Allegedly, she thought it was my little brother's, even though she had never seen it before. So, on the night of January 12th, I was working as a supervisor. I was on my shift when I noticed my mom, over social media, Facebook specifically, she was just having it out on my little brother and just name-calling, patronizing, blaming everything on him, really. She called him a feral child at one point. I did not see how it was okay to speak like that, so I did comment on one of my breaks on her post, because this wasn't going into our private talk. This was something people were going to see. And I told her, like, it's not okay to speak about your son like that. He's your son, okay? A son you don't even provide for. So, and I called her out on a few very specific topics that I'm going to mention here. And my grandma actually got the post taken down because on that post, she kept trying to preach to me about love and forgiveness. And I kept trying to tell her there's no forgiving something that there's nothing to be forgiven. It's not an act that she stopped. It's an act she continues to do. She continues to abuse. She continues her drug usage. So, like, I can forgive in my own heart, but I can't forgive for that other party who is suffering, right? And my grandma was a woman, I guess, who thought she found Christ, which is false because she's not standing up for the fatherless, A. She's not standing up for the needy, B. And she's not standing up for righteousness' sake. So there's nothing in that. What it actually is enabling my mom to continue in the generational trauma that my grandmother gave her. And I'm not saying my grandmother was trying to do that. I wasn't saying it was my grandmother's fault. That doesn't mean it wasn't handed down, though. So I had made some comments, and my grandma was just trying to lovey-dovey enable my mom that she doesn't know what she's doing, apparently, because she's in Washington, as well as the rest of my family, most of them. So I get off of work, and I got off really early that night, because I got back home right before 8 o'clock. I worked in hospitality, I worked in food, so it's usually you don't get off that early, but I did, and I felt something in my spirit. I'm like, there's gonna be a fight, I can feel it coming. I just felt very off, I felt in danger, and I knew it was coming. So something I've started doing out of fear and habit when I felt like I was in trouble was to clean. My mom always got on me growing up for not cleaning, and I wasn't the most hygienic person. But growing up, I had a lot of responsibilities. Like from the age of 8, I was the primary person to be cooking every single dinner that we ate in that household. I also had to provide my little brother with breakfast in the mornings, and there were times I didn't have the energy to do chores and schoolwork and put up with my mom's reactional abuse, and also cook and run to the store with change that I had to search to find. Like there was just a lot of different responsibilities that I had, and my family actively denied them. They are actively denying them. So she got on me for cleaning so much that it's become something I almost did out of fear. So I was habitually like washing dishes, picking up the dining room and the kitchen, it's like, I don't know, I guess at that point it was to me like a form of damage control. Not that I was sitting there and cleaning to please her, don't get me wrong. When I walked in there, the boyfriend that wasn't supposed to be there, his dog, and our dog were both there, right? But I walked into Evan's, I mention it because I remember walking over to my mom's room and they were just locked up. I don't know if they went out at all that day, which is very common. My parents always pawned that off on me and my older brother, and my little brother just does not listen. He doesn't seem to feel the repercussions he receives. They don't matter to him like they did to me and my older brother. Because don't get me wrong, they did not enable my younger brother like some families seem to do with their youngest child. But I did walk to my brother's room and he was asleep on his bed. Now, you don't know my younger brother, but that was a blessing. I was not trying to wake him up. The boy gets so little sleep as it was, and he has a hard time, like, in a behavioral way, to also go to sleep. Like, he'll stay up, it's not like intentional, but there's some things he does that gets in the way of his sleep, and then there's also some things that impact him that he has absolutely no control over. So I was cleaning, right, after I did all that, and after I got home, put my stuff down, checked those rooms. My mom comes home probably about like 10 minutes after me, and the first thing she says to me when she walks through the door, which explains to me the nature of the fight she's about to try to have, was, "What are you doing in my home?" I was like, okay, so we are gatekeeping shelter now. Okay, I see where this is going. I didn't say that. I looked at her and I said, "I live here." That's all I said. She made comments under her breath. She walked around just fuming. I don't know if you know what I mean, but literally like a dragon. You know, like she's steaming. She's just walking around, huffing and puffing, muttering under her breath. And she's literally just walking from like our toolbox to our dining room, just pretending to look at things. Then when she doesn't get a reaction out of me, she goes back to my brother's room and she just starts searching through it. Just like I told you how she rummages through my drawers and she steals, she just starts searching through his room and she's making a ruckus. She's making a lot of noise. They start fighting. My little brother wakes up and him and my mom start arguing and they get louder and louder. They are yelling over the course of like a few minutes after he wakes up. Maybe not even that. And so I walk back there. The comment I make was not the best it's not phrased the best. I said something along the lines of, can you not start this right now? Leave him alone. You know, he was asleep. He sleeps so like I was starting to say these things, and my little brother, like as if on cue, sits up and screams at me, "Shut up, Ari, you're the reason we're getting fucking evicted." And I had just gotten the confirmation from my landlord that day that I was on the lease and that my mom could not kick me out. And I was like, why would he say that? And he did text me that while I was at work. I don't know if it was before or after what happened on Facebook with my mom. But I was like, why would he say that? You know, he's already put up with a lot with her over the years, and he was all for me moving back in. He is tired of my mom's shenanigans at this point, and she eventually did get evicted after they had thrown me out, right? But they start arguing with me. Both of them are just screaming at me, you know, and I'm used to this, so I'm very, very calm about it. I'm just kind of baffled. I'm looking at the camera. If you can see the look in my eyes, I probably had a little bit of that look, because that's how my face felt. I was like, where the hell is this all coming from? Like, we were never getting evicted. I don't know who told you that. I even asked him, like, who told you we were getting evicted? I just got confirmation today that I wasn't getting evicted. Like, who told you that? They never answered. They started screaming at me, just blaming me, just like, started calling me a bunch of names, and all of the remarks that they had growing up, you know, how I'm a pig, how I'm a nightmare, how I ruin everything, how every time I come into that house, I take away from their peace, and they're screaming at me. Like, my mom walked into his room, woke him up because she was trying to start stuff, and then they're like, it was really bizarre. And at some point, I'm like backed into the dining room, and I said, I don't understand why you guys are attacking me. And my little brother starts screaming, you want me to attack you? You want to see what attack looks like? And then he comes after me. He shoves me, and he's hitting on me. Like, not hitting on me, he's my brother, guys, but he's like just beating me, right? And I'm taking it, and I'm telling him to get off. Like I keep saying it over and over again. And I was pregnant at that point. So he threw me out of the house. He threw me out of the apartment. Now, we live upstairs. He tried to throw me down the stairs. He tried kicking me down the stairs. And I haven't told him. I don't know if he knows. I don't know if that information circled back around to him. But he caused me to miscarry that day. And he caused me to miscarry that day because of that, because of his assault. And when I left, I was fed up. I had been taking all of the heat from my mom. I had been withstanding her remarks, not even retaliating against it. I haven't argued anybody. You know, I sat there those 3 months, and my little brother, he threw basketballs at me, he threw books at me, he threw shoes at me. That was the first time he attacked me. in a long time. And I called the cops because I recorded it all. And I gave them that recording. I filed 2 different police reports. One of them was all the evidence I had that my mom was doing cocaine. All right? She admitted on camera to 4 accounts of taking and like possessing the cocaine. One of which she admits that she did it in her household, and we are in a school zone. She did it in her house with her minor child, as she refers to him, because she likes to weaponize her children. In a school zone. My brothers were there. They saw them. My brothers even walked between her and her boyfriend, who got her on cocaine. They walked in between them and said that my mom didn't even see them. That's how far gone she was. She was standing up, dancing, acting like a hooligan, I guess, and she couldn't even see them. So I had eventually obtained the pictures they took of the cocaine lines on the kitchen counter. She had admitted to 4 accounts of doing cocaine, one of which around her minor child, in the home of her child. And I say minor, I don't even mean it to weaponize it. I mean it because that is fucking unsafe. So those were the police reports. One with my mom and one with my little brother. Now, when the cops showed up, about an hour and a half later, I had called my ex, who was my boyfriend at the time, same guy who got me pregnant. And he kept, like, yelling at me over the phone. I remember how he screamed at me after I just got kicked out and assaulted and locked out of my home. So after an hour and a half of waiting at the elementary school that we lived right next to, like, closing in, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, the cops go and talk to them. And I gave them the video footage of how my little brother assaulted me and threw me out of the house and everything. They went and talked to them. And they said that when they came back to me, they said that your mom and little brother claimed that they removed you from the household. And I was just baffled with the police. I was like, what do you mean removed? I gave you video of them throwing me out. They're not allowed to remove me. I'm on the lease. I have my landlord in writing saying this. And I was just assaulted, and they were telling me that they weren't going to take any action. There was nothing they could do. I was like, yes, there is. You can arrest him. And I didn't want that. And I'm glad that they didn't. But I'm thinking now there wasn't any point to be glad. My brother got arrested months later for holding a gun to people's heads and stealing 3 cars with gang-affiliated people. So those were the events of the night of the 12th, January 12th, 2024. Now, I don't know why this is connected, but I just got I don't really have dreams. For the most part, I have nightmares. Every time I have dreamed, there's like 1 or 2 this year that weren't nightmares, but otherwise they've mostly just been nightmares. So I did a short event. I did a short event for 2 days. It's supposed to be 3. Tomorrow's the 3rd day. Where I was just helping out with this local establishment, doing a setup and teardown crew. And I remember in the dream, I was there. It was a lot different. Like, it was like during the actual convention. I remember wearing the same clothes that I wore one of those days to the event in the dream itself. I remember meeting 2 specific celebrities in that dream. I don't know why these 2, I have no association with them. I've never What I need you to know, there are two people who were in my life. Both of you are women, and both of you follow these two celebrities on YouTube. Your names start with M and T, and the celebrities' names start with D and P. That's what I'll tell you, because I don't know why they were in my dream, but that was a point that was important, and I don't know why. I don't know how to gauge that, because they're not important to me. I cannot find a human reason these were the two, but they were. And if you're watching this, MT, you've been watching these YouTubers for a long time, D and P, and I don't know if that's going to speak to you, but I'm under instruction to not contact you. So this is the only way I'm going to be able to communicate that with you. But anyways, two specific celebrities were in my dream. I knew them by name. And I had seen them. We had glanced at each other, specifically me and D. I had made direct eye contact with him. And I remember wandering around the convention quite a bit. I remember roller coasters. That was really weird. This is like it's a financial and global, environment convention. So I don't know why. Maybe there was elements of fun in a serious place. Does that make sense? That might have been the notion there. And I remember the dream warping. There was an emergency, and I remember, oh my gosh, it was so vivid. But I remember having to travel out to this, I don't remember what kind of place it was. I just remember being in trees. I remember like a forest. And I was told that my little brother became a school shooter. Now, when I woke up, I did rebuke this. I remember in the dream, though, when I found him, it's like it almost didn't connect that he was the attempted, nobody got hurt, luckily, in the dream, but that he was the attempted school shooter. And I remember holding him, and I don't know. I remember specifically that everybody minded their own business. I guess I had an expectation that people were going to look at me some type of way or ridicule me, but nobody did, and I'm not sure why. It was an odd dream. In case you don't know, because I don't know if I've ever covered this on my channel so far, I didn't have a lot of dreams growing up. I've primarily had nightmares, and I lost my nightmares and my dreams and my sleep and my rest for years. But one thing I didn't have when I was younger was interactions with people in my dreams. I remember I had this reoccurring dream of flying, where like I would try to talk to the people in my school and my family around me, and nobody would ever respond to me, like I was a ghost, like I almost wasn't there, or they were pretending that. So I never had an interaction with another human being in a dream before this year, for the most part, like not directly. Not in a way that, like, I existed for some reason. But anyways, yeah, so that convention that happened, and it's weird that I'm using the word convention, because that's not what I would be, it's weird, I don't know. I don't even know how this dream and this event connects, but I did listen to a prophetic word recently as in just now, like tonight, before recording this video, where I had the revelation. And I don't know if that person, that prophet, because I don't want to specify, I don't know if they're gonna see this. I don't know if they know now that this word may have been for me. But they had specifically, like, in that dream, recounted how they were in a car, and it wasn't their car, and it made them uncomfortable, and it caused them not to take someone somewhere, and how there were two celebrities at this convention in the dream, and how, you know, this person was in the car with her, and the girl was shaking on her phone. She just found out something. That's where I was. That's exactly what happened to me when I really thought about the word, because I was like, is this for me? Then the dream came back to me. I remember wanting to record the dream all day today. It is currently 9:35. I'm sorry for rambling. How are you guys doing? But yeah, so those are the accounts of the night of January 12th, 2024. That is how I knew I had no family on this earth besides the family of believers in Jesus, who is the only one who hasn't left me. And that dream I had last night, there's meaning to it, and this is really choppy video. I can't wait to get a camera and edit these videos for you so that I'm not rambling and thinking. Part of me I do like this style because it feels a lot more raw, and I'd rather you see truly where I'm at. So since I'm confused, I want you to know that. I don't want you to think that I have clarity when I don't. And oftentimes I do have clarity, because in the end, confusion is not of God. He is not the author of confusion, and it is a work of the devil. It is a tool, more specifically. Had a lot of good prayer today. I got to pray over some people, which was super exciting. I'm having a really hard time with recounting these events. Some of the things I said in this video makes me think of some more recent traumatic events and wondering if I reacted a certain way because of my little brother, but I think that's all for now. I think I'll close with a quick prayer, just because I'm already on a good streak with prayer today, and if you've stayed this long, maybe you deserve it, maybe you need it. So, Abba Yahweh, Yeshua, and Holorok Lahim Kodesh. Father, I pray to you in the name of Jesus, by the power of the Holy Spirit, and I pray for the power of the Holy Spirit, Lord, and I thank you. I thank you for delivering people out of bondages of violence, Lord, from their own hands and from the hands of others. I thank you for releasing people from abusive families. I thank you for taking up the case of the fatherless, of the widow, of the needy, of the poor in spirit. I thank you that your mission on this earth is to spread the good news, Lord. That your believers will move with you, and I don't know, just how you create a better world, Lord. Your ways supersede me. They surpass me. They're too great for my understanding. I thank you that it's not out of my own strength that I understand, but yours. Lord, I just pray upon every single person who's viewing this right now. I pray that your hand is upon their life. I pray that your hedge of protection is upon them, their body, mind, spirit, heart, and soul, upon their families and all of their loved ones, and even their enemies, even my enemies. Lord, that you may sanctify every mind and turn every heart towards you, Lord, that we may better our lives and our quality of living, that we may better our hearts and minds towards each other, that we may sanctify ourselves, refine ourselves, Lord, that we may encourage each other and build one another up. Lord, I just thank you that love is the winning team, that hope and faith is partnered with it. Lord, I thank you that your wisdom is with us. Lord, I thank you for your access to your Holy Spirit. I thank you for your infinite gift of forgiveness, Lord. I pray that you sanctify us all in this day. I pray that you, since you listen to me, Lord, since you listen to me, I know you hear me, but since you truly listen to me, since you answer my prayers, I pray that you will listen to the prayers of all the people who have sat upon this video, listening to my testimony, moved or not. I pray that you move them. And I pray that you do it for your will, for your good will in their lives. Lord, show them your will upon their life. Show them what you have in store, your untainted future, Lord, for you have plans to give us hope and a future, plans to prosper us and not harm us. It's in Jesus' mighty name that I pray. And I thank, Lord, I pray that where two or more are gathered together, there you two shall be, even through this screen. Lord, I thank you for being so good to us. I thank you for forgiving us. I thank you for being so willing to sanctify us, to grant us wisdom, Lord, to be with us. Thank you for your presence, Lord. Again, I just pray that you are upon our lives, that you listen to our prayers, speak to us in ways that we can understand, especially the non-believers, so that they may be guided towards you, Lord. Your counsel is well valued on this earth. Thank you for watching this video. I will continue to pray after I turn this camera off, and that's a promise. I will see you in the next video, and hopefully eventually we can edit this long-form content. Have a good night and a good morning if you see this in the morning.